We'll see how long this connection lasts. Hopefully it sounds decent. Y'all let me know if y'all can hear me. But I'll go ahead and get started for the replay. Not gonna be here too long. Here in the middle of Beale Street. Today is shoot. Someone doesn't keep track of time like that. Today is what? 20th. Goodness. Yeah, the 20th. Yeah. The days are running together. Days probably getting longer for you guys too. Appreciate y'all joining in. As you can tell, I'm here live in on Beale Street. Today is day after Father's Day, so it's not that busy. So came out here and shot a video. So I just got some footage here and just kind of priming it for the next step. Just kind of testing the footage. We're gonna come out here and we got this whole thing I'm planning for the next evolution of the song that's going to debut at the show that's going to be here in Memphis. So we're planning all this stuff, right? And I was just thinking about the journey and spirituality, and we'll kind of ask a couple questions. I'm trying to get this very, very simple because I've had some of the conversations that will happen in regards to religion on the 100-degree challenge, right? And that's what I'm calling spiritual common sense, right? And for me, spirituality is when you remove what you're not, what's left, what's always been there, right? When they say know thyself, know yourself, is what they're talking about. So we've had this knowledge before, and I'm here, like I'm not hiding, right? So I'm here just showing you this is out in the open. A lot of us have been gaslit into thinking, now hopefully this audio is coming through. Y'all let me know if y'all can hear it. Let's see. By the way, y'all from okay, that's what's up. Memphis in the house, yeah, yeah. And yeah, it makes sense. Just Memphis being an analog of certain cities in Egypt as well. The history here, home of the blues, right? Um, and picking up where Dr. King left off, right, in the dream, being awake in the dream. So that's my story, Vikter Band. I've documented that, right? There's other things that are going on, so we're just talking on a very high level. So this is the level of simplicity that I want to get to, and you let me know your thoughts. So if God is everything, right, and that's like everything, including like everything, right, then there's nothing that it's not, right? So if that's the definition, right, and most people define God based on certain teachings and certain books, and those individuals, those deities, or those personalities are have human traits. We're talking about the infinite creator that created everything that you see, right? That intelligent force that's behind all of this, right? Part of that mystery. Right? So let's say that there is a such thing as an intelligent force behind everything, and you can call it whatever you want to call it, right? So there would be nothing that it's not, right? If God is everything, all there is, you can even call it nature, but we'll get to that. If it's all there is, there's nothing that it's not, right? Including you, right? So if God is everything, there's nothing that it's not, including you. So the illusion is when you think you're separate, because you can't be separate from God if God is everything, because everything includes you, right? Everything. God is all energy includes you, right? So when they talk about the illusion of separation, that's what they're talking about. And that illusion is an imaginary illusion. It's an imaginary line, just like we draw imaginary lines between Arkansas and Tennessee, right, when you cross that bridge. So these are rules that we choose to play ourselves, right? This is the matrix, right? Because this is a free will environment, right? I'm choosing to do this. I could not do this. I can sit back and watch the society go down the drain like a lot of people will, because that's part of the program. That's part of what we've been taught. Because it's easier to control a society full of sheep than a society full of lions. So you're not programmed to roar, you're programmed to baa, right? And that's fine. Everyone has their journeys, right? But for those that are aware and awake and know what's going on, it's now the time to not be hidden. It's time to do this in the light. So this is part of that exercise. And from a very simple standpoint, I'm not trying to make it highbrow. I'm not trying to get into quantum physics and all that. I'm just saying something that you can experience. I was talking to an individual today, and they were talking about and they don't want us to know this, they don't want us to know that. And I was letting her know, and this is my mom, she may be watching this. I was letting her know that that may have been the case before, but right now there's no one preventing you accessing information, right? They can't. The internet has allowed free access or more access to information. So before there were gatekeepers, and those gatekeepers are still trying to hold power, the priests and things of that nature. They used to read these teachings to us, right, before we can read them ourselves and dissect them ourselves and follow the paper trail. So now they can't stop that. So there's no they. There is no victim. That's why the name Vikter. right? It's about what we can do, the controls that we can have, because they can't limit our personal experience of consciousness. And I was telling her, and then I'll get out this thing, and we'll have a little discussion. Um, but I was telling her, and Memphis is just a larger scale of what I've seen happen in my small city of Pensacola, where I was born and raised. So gentrification is here, the same programming is here, the same violence is here, all of these things, right? And a lot of that is repeating externally the feelings that we feel about ourselves, right? If I don't value my life, why am I going to value your life, right? Most people don't treat others how they want to be treated. They treat others how they treat themselves, right? So it's something to think about. But now, again, from that simple standpoint, we're bringing this to light. And we have all of the facts to back it up. But we're going to have this conversation in the open, in the area where a lot of civil rights work was done. You can see, and I'll just take a little walk. Like, there's a lot of history here. There's a museum here. And, um, I've made some connections with some people here. So we'll see if that manifests into anything. But there was a point in time where people that were melanated like myself had to prove that we were even men, right? That's part of this history. And it's a crazy history, right? And some people still believe it, right? You know, there was a time when we used to have to walk around. I'm walking around with a legal alien sign, but there's times when we walked around with a thing that said, I'm a man. So to go from there to higher consciousness is a lot of steps. And a lot of people aren't ready to make those choices and make those steps. But those people that are will be an example, and we'll show that example of what the value of higher consciousness is. Because right now, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that the path that we're on, the path that's been laid for us, this yellow brick road, is going to lead us into self-destruction. So why continue to do that when we can choose otherwise, right? We have that ability as free will beings. A lot of the programming is programmed us to expect these bad things to happen. We're expecting the end of the world to happen, but it's not the end of the world, it's the end of a world and the beginning of a new one, where the limits that have been put on ourselves are taken off. So as I was mentioning before, in a mainstream movie like Jurassic Park, right, which is about dinosaurs, they were talking about the mistakes that humanity has made in regards to genetic engineering and things of that nature. This is Jeff Goldblum's initial first speech, and talking about the mistakes that humanity has made with genetic engineering and things of that nature, that power that it was given. He was talking about the next frontier is going to be a frontier of consciousness, which is true. That is going to be the next frontier. You look at all of the things that are going on with mental health, feelings, emotion, things of that nature. Spirituality is going to be something that's going to be at the forefront. So for those of you that are at the forefront now, you're at the cutting edge, and yeah, you're at the cutting edge, right? So that's a mainstream movie talking about consciousness. And I was talking to my mom how it'd be nice to be on the forefront of something for a change, where we're always the last ones to get the scraps and all of these things, and we're at the forefront. So let's not relegate that position. Just because someone has more money or more say or whatever doesn't mean that their voice is more valuable or as valuable as yours. Keep speaking your truth and keep doing what you're doing, because that will happen. As the mainstream starts to realize they can't stop this movement, they're going to try to co-opt it, and they're going to divert a whole lot of people into a whole another sphere, because that's what they do. They divide and conquer. That's the only thing they can do. But the truth is, as I mentioned before, there's a oneness. Like, if God is everything, that's including you, right? Including you. So the separation, the idea of the separation is the lies, the fallacy. So those people that are awake, they're realizing that there is no separation. We're all one thing. We're all God experiencing His creation. So that's what they talk about when they're waking up in this dream, right? And it's not blasphemy. I'm not saying that I'm anything greater than you or anything less than you. I'm saying we are the same thing. If God is everything, then there's nothing that God is not, right? Including you, right? Including me. So why is that a bad thing to say? So this is kind of approach we're going to take. We're skipping all of this doctrine and religion, all of that stuff, and we got the 100-degree challenge as a set of facts that leads one into the internal questions of removing what you're not to reveal what's left. So when you take away what you're not, this matrix programs all of the stuff that makes you think you're this, you're your job, you're your profession, you're your age, you're your sex, you're your gender, you're this, you're your right, you're your politician, you're all of these things, all of these labels, just cutting everything up, cutting up a oneness into these things that keep us divided. That's the game that's being played on us. We're able to see this game, realize this game, articulate this game, show this game. We have plenty of these examples of this game and the players playing this game. So it's not about them. It's about knowledge and being aware that we can make a different choice, because this game that's being played is leading us to a path of self-destruction, because that's the only, like, these kind of characters will be the ones that will take the ball if you get hot on the court. Like, if I can't have it, no one's going to have it, right? Um, that's a possibility. We kind of think that the worst case scenario can't happen, right? We've already got a potential World War III already started, right? And if we allow it to just continue to happen, it will happen, and no one will be surprised, right? But think about it. The majority of people don't want that. So why is the majority of people allowing that, right? Because they feel they don't have the power. They feel they don't have the authority, because these authority figures, it's been programmed into us from the beginning. Raise your hand, ask for authority from your mom, your supervisor, your teacher, your coach, your manager, whatever, right? Somebody, your priest, preacher, someone else has to give me the answer, right? We don't trust ourselves. Someone else has figured that out and knows better for me than I do for myself, right? We believe that. And that's what's gotten us to this point. So the question is, do we want to continue down this path, or do we want to try something different, right? So the people that want to try something different will try something different, show something different, show their value in that for the individual and for the collective, right? We can chart this, we can put this on however you want to talk about it. We can explain it down to the Planck scale if you want to get to the quantum state of it. I mean, however you want to look at it, right? We're going to be able to expose all of this. Three things can alone be hidden: the sun, the moon, and the truth. And this is time for the truth to come out. And there's people that are going to hold on to their belief systems, but we're going to be gentle and compassionate and things of that nature. This isn't a time to say, I told you so. It's a time to unite. And there's going to be people that are going to do that and try to push buttons and all of these things. So part of my journey is preparing for this, preparing for all of the things that come along with that, preparing for all the Agent Smiths that are going to come out when someone tries to help awaken things. So it is going to happen. It's going to be part of the story, and we're just going to document it, and we're going to be able to see it coming a mile away. And I see it coming a mile away already, and I don't even talk about stuff like that. But again, wanted to keep this short. Just saying we're out here. There's things that are happening on other levels as well, just as far as from a present standpoint, the messages that I'm putting out subconsciously, the energy that I'm broadcasting, the meditative state that I'm in. There's a lot of programming that's charging the grid here as well. So, and we'll talk about things. That's more the advanced side. No need to talk about, multiplication, all that stuff if we're not, getting the simple addition and numbers together. So that's what we're going to do. This is the home of the blues, but does it have to be? Does Earth have to be the home of the blues? Does Earth have to be the ghetto that a lot of us think it is? Or is it really Eden? We've been programmed to think we're separate. I think that's part of the game, right? Because we're all connected. We're all part of nature, God, whatever you want to call it. The idea of separation is what keeps us fighting each other. And we've gotten to the point to where we're so obsessed with separation and profit and all of these fake things, we're going to destroy ourselves and our planet. It doesn't make sense. It's very stupid. So we're just going to just bring this out and open, have discussions about it, and see what happens. And the truth doesn't fear any questioning. That's another thing we're going to show. A lot of people talk about this stuff in the dark and afraid to shine a light in the dark and in the light. Like, it is what it is. So, and we're here in the middle of dangerous Memphis, and there's dangerous parts in everywhere that you are. So, but the idea is this danger is from an individual standpoint, right? Because we make up this world is made up by us. So if we get that person to realize that there's a better way that they can have an experience in this life without resorting to danger, without just reacting, you can respond. You have the ability to consciously just not react. That's what we've been doing. You can respond, and responding allows you to consciously dictate where you travel. And now you take control of your will. You're not just reacting. Okay, so these are things that we're going to talk about. These are things that are not taught to us in school. I've been through college. I've, got degrees and all of this stuff. And the most important things that I've learned have not been in class, right? So education and intelligence has nothing to do with school and things of that nature, or a degree. Just because you have a degree doesn't mean you're smart. And just because you don't have a degree doesn't mean you're not smart, right? So we're not going to get into that right now because we're trying to keep it short. So I appreciate y'all joining in. Just keep, so, I mean, we're building up. This is happening. And the thing is, there's going to be people in my immediate sphere that are right there. And I spent years trying to get them to join because I would like them to be on this side. So you see, I don't even have anyone to hold my camera, right? And I'm from two huge families that have heard me talk about this for years. So it is what it is. So they've chosen where they want to be, and that's fine. Um, People make their decisions based on the best they can do, most of them. But I would have liked them to be here. I would have liked them to have a front row seat on this ride. But the time is not that time's not there. But we don't have the time to wait now. That's the thing. They say truth goes through three stages. It's ridiculed, and then it's something else, and then it's eventually seen as self-evident. But from a timeline standpoint, if we see a mushroom cloud down there, then let's say it takes, I mean, look how long it took scientists to realize that, washing your hands was a good thing. And there was these things called germs, right? You can look up the story of germs, like they ridiculed him for thinking that these imaginary things that you can save people's lives if you wash your hands, right? The scientific community just ridiculed him because they knew all about these things and they'd never seen a germ, right? And it took them a long time to realize that this guy was right. He went crazy because he knew he was right and he can save lives and they were still killing people. True story, right? The scientific community is very dogmatic as well. They hold on to their beliefs and story as well. Don't think that they're infallible. They're just as human as the next person. They have their ideas and dogma as well. But anyway, because the whole scientific community is just going to watch it go down the drain and just going to document it. Oh, the clock's getting closer to 12. They have no solution. They have no, because they're just mechanistic in themselves, right? And in their mind, if we just self-destructed it, would just be like, well, that's what humanity's supposed to do, right? It's not like there's an option. Like they're not creative enough to think of an option, right? So anyway, they're going to be part of the opposite. You're going to see it all. There's going to be a big target on my back, and I've turned that target into the op. I don't know if you can see it, but it is what it is. We're going to turn all this energy into something else. I mean, we've been playing with it. So, um, yeah, yeah. There's a lot there's a lot that's going to unfold. So if Memphis is successful, we're going to do Atlanta, and then we're going to take it on the road. And this will be a node. So we can say that Memphis node is definitely established. The light is here, and we're going to take this and take it where it can go. And this is proof, right? I didn't think I would be able to get this far. And on some level, truthfully. So I'm more curious where this goes as well, and what happens when I get out of my own way and not have fear of what someone else thinks of me. A lot of that has held me back with the family, but they haven't looked at any of the things that I've talked about. They're just stuck in their belief system, like a lot of people are, which is fine. But we can show them the fallacies and the control in those belief systems, and they can do what they want after that. But I wouldn't feel right not sounding the alarm if I see that happening and I can help it, right? So that's just my perspective. Some people look at it a different way, right? So that's what I'm going to do. And higher consciousness, if you got a better solution than higher consciousness, I'm all about it. Because like I was mentioning before, coming here, looking on this path, imagine higher consciousness giving you a bird's eye view, and I can see down there is destruction. So why not make the changes here? Because time is pushing us along. So if we do nothing, that's where we're going to go. Like it's inevitable that I'm going to go there if I don't change my path. That's where we are. And we're waiting for Jesus to take the wheel, and we're going to crash into this thing right here. Right? I'm waiting for Jesus to take the wheel. Take the wheel of who? Of me? I have control here. So I can avoid this and choose a different path. Right? But if I'm waiting for someone else, I'm going to run right into it. And that's what humanity's doing. They're running right into things. But we'll show it and we'll bring some light to it and we'll see what happens. And then, like I say, it's a fitting story that it's in Memphis with all the civil rights thing. And this is like the not the underground railroad, but the overground railroad, the higher self railroad, to where we're the things that have been subjected to a small segment of humanity has been unfolded to a larger segment. You talk about the 99% and the 1%, right? So even though they keep us divided and fighting over small superficial stuff, we're still just a small segment, right? I mean, all of us are still playing in the system, right? None of us are at the top. So again, they keep us fighting and distracted. Bread and circus, they've been doing this for a long time. Bread and circus keep you distracted. You got the finals, you got football, you got a draft, you got the soap opera, you got Kardashian, you got all of these things that are not telling you anything on how to prevent us from self-destructing or to help us empower ourselves to do a whole lot of different things, right? Nothing, again, that doesn't benefit them. The system is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. So for us to think that we're going to vote someone else in, or this one's going to do that, or that one's going to do that, what is the evidence of that? Show me the evidence of that. That's all I'm saying. Show me the evidence of that. This system that is right now is a system that it's doing what it's meant to do, right? It takes money from the bottom and funnels it to the top. The rich get richer, the poor gets poorer. Show me something else that it does besides that. It's a good pyramid scheme. You even got pyramids on your dollars, right? So we're going to talk about here in the open. But there's a lot of things that we're just talking on a superficial level because yeah, it's a lot going on. So appreciate y'all joining in. Stay tuned. 8/27 is the date. I'm going to be putting out more stuff. I'm going to put some. I mean, we'll see. Even if it's just me holding this, we're going to do something. We're going to start somewhere, and there'll be. It's going to start small. It's going to start grassroots, and then it's going to grow, and it's going to build up, and it's going to build momentum. We're going to start this wave that's already here. It's like all of this stuff is already in the cloud. This higher consciousness is in the cloud, and when people are ready, they can download. Humanity's been running old operating systems for thousands of years, right? So now we're upgrading our operating system, right? And some people don't like new operating systems. They don't like they like running the old stuff, but the new thing has higher resolution, more experience, just a better. We're not watching HD, right? We're watching standard definition. We're watching HD and all of this stuff. So we upgrade those things. Why not upgrade our consciousness? Why not upgrade our thinking? Why not upgrade our vision? Why not get the beam out of our eyes so we can really see what's going on? So that's what we're in the process doing, and it's a process. There's a lot of momentum that's got us to this point. A lot of inaction. So spirituality in action is taking action. So I'm just being an example of that. Just one person, leader of a leaderless movement. And it's a movement in consciousness. It's coming. It's here. Those that are seeing it now, you're at the forefront. And being at the forefront sucks sometimes. Like being a time traveler sucks because you're ahead of your time. So if you're true to yourself, not many people you can kind of relate to you, right? Because it's tough for me to just have the superficial conversation, especially when I can see what's going on. Like I'd rather have interactions with someone that sees the same value that I do and just doesn't want to just sit down and just watch TV and just watch it happen. Um, yeah, just like Martin said, the only way good, I'm paraphrasing, the only way that good can survive is if good men do nothing or something to that nature. So as long as we do something, then we're helping. And I want to make this place, like any other place, better than it was when I came there. So this is me doing that to the best of my ability. All right, y'all. I appreciate y'all joining in. And yeah, we'll stay tuned. All right. Peace out.